This is Amazon's best-selling 3D printer, the Flashforge Adventurer A5M, and I want to figure out why everyone is buying it. But first, let's get it out of the box and printing. Okay, a little admission, this is actually the Pro version of the printer, but the only real difference is that it can print with advanced materials because it has an enclosure, and it also has a webcam built in. And other than that, everything is basically identical, so for the sake of this video, I won't be printing with any advanced materials like ASA or carbon fiber, or judging the webcam quality. It's not good. The main appeal of the A5M is that it's a really cheap Core XY style 3D printer, but that does of course come with a few trade-offs, like having the filament mounted in a really annoying spot on the back of the printer. And after I finished setting everything up, it automatically started printing a test cube that came out perfect. But I of course have to give it something a bit more difficult, so using Orca Slicer, I sent over 4 copies of my Maker coin. And considering that these were all printed with the default 0.2mm layer height settings, like completely out of the box, the print quality is great except for a tiny bit of stringing that can be cleaned up easily enough anyway. But please let me know what you think. And the next print that I'm going to do is this little coaster storage pot thingy. And it's the same story with this one, the quality is really good overall. There's a few imperfections on the top layer, I probably should have chosen a different pattern, but it's far from bad and I'd be very happy giving this or selling this to somebody even. But let's be real, these were both easy prints. Let's do something much more difficult with whatever's left over of the sample filament. Like this. This is a trophy design that I'm working on for the 2024 3D Printing Industry Awards, and it's not designed to be printed with a filament 3D printer, but I'm going to do it anyway, which means adding a lot of weird and windy supports. So let's see how it goes. Let me know what you think, but let's be real again, even disregarding how cheap this 3D printer is, this is really good quality and it's exactly what I'd expect out of any of my much more expensive 3D printers. So yeah, there are of course minor issues if you look close enough, like some stringing and some imperfections where the support's connected, but nothing terrible. And like my other prints, I'm happy with this. And given the price point, I'm impressed even. And do you know what else is impressive? These parts that PCBWay manufactured for me. I designed them and then just uploaded them to PCBWay, selected the process, material, and surface finish that I wanted, and then PCBWay handled the rest. Now, I love having access to 3D printers and making stuff myself, but parts like these, I just can't make by myself. This solid aluminium block is for a future video. Let me know down below if you think you know what this is. And this clear resin Lego compatible phone case was for my last video, and I'm just in love with it. And if you want to save $5 on your first purchase, make sure you check out the link below, and a big thank you to PCBWay for sponsoring this video. Now, I'm going to do some more prints shortly, but first, let's talk a bit more about the Adventurer A5M. And like I mentioned before, the Pro version that I have here has an enclosure, which also has an air filter included that lets you print with more advanced materials, plus overall an enclosure helps with keeping any noise and any smells to a minimum, plus I think I already mentioned as well that the Pro version includes a webcam. And while these are all very nice things to have, in my opinion the Pro version just is not worth it. It's a lot more money for not too many more features. So the A5M is currently $300 USD on Amazon, and the A5M Pro is currently $470. But the thing is, if you buy the cheaper base model, you can just 3D print a DIY enclosure later on if you decide you need it. You will need to buy some hardware and the plastic panels though for an additional $40 US. And the same goes for the camera. If you decide you want one later on, you can just add one on for an additional $35 US. And even factoring in the cost of the filament to print the enclosure, the DIY Pro version is still going to be cheaper than buying the out-of-the-box Pro version. The only thing that's going to be missing is some additional fans and the air filter, but you can add those on later as well if you need them. So yeah, I would definitely go for the cheaper version. It's just the best bang for your buck Core XY 3D printer that I've kind of used. So a quick comparison, the A5M again is $300, the P1P is currently $450, and the K1 SE is currently $360. And I've personally had very positive experiences with all of these printers. And that's because each of these companies has really honed in on how to make machines that produce high quality 3D printed parts. The differences are with every other aspect of the machines and how each has gone about reducing the prices for their budget offerings. So Bambu Lab has the best software, the largest build volume, and the most seamless experience, but it's the most expensive of the bunch and has no touchscreen. Creality, on the other hand, has a touchscreen, but okay software and a slightly smaller build volume. And Flashforge has an even smaller build volume, but still big enough for most applications that I use mine for, an okay touchscreen that gets the job done, but software that leaves a lot to be desired. It takes a while to boot up, it's not responsive, and it's clearly not as polished or as refined as the other options. I will say though that their mobile app, while not as fully featured as the others, has worked well consistently, which I definitely can't say about the other options. So overall, I think Flashforge made the right calls in which features they chose to save a bit of money on. I don't think anyone is buying this 3D printer because of the extra features or build quality or any fancy connected software. They're buying it to get the highest quality prints at the lowest price possible, while also being a modern, speedy machine in a practical Core XY form factor. So that being said, if it can pull off the rest of my planned prints with no issues, I might recommend it as the budget 3D printer king. But let's not get ahead of ourselves, let's do some more prints. And here are all the things that I just 3D printed. First up are these 3D printable Braille bricks, and I designed them as an alternative to LEGO's official Braille bricks that are used as a learning resource for teaching Braille. And the thing about printing parts that are LEGO compatible is that it's difficult. The tolerances need to be spot on, and I was happy to see that the bricks all snap together firmly, so I also printed a heap more. And after that, I printed the second part of the trophy, and then I just 3D printed the whole trophy again, this time 20%-ish larger, and this one also came out really nice. I also printed this Cubone skull model, and the supports on this one were a bit difficult to remove. I probably should have used normal supports instead of tree supports, so it's a bit rough around the edges on the bottom side, but the model is still usable for my needs, so I didn't bother reprinting it and wasting more filament. And the final model I printed for this video was this massive part. I made this to protect the edge of my lounge from my cat, and the walls are only 1mm thick, so as you get higher up, in the right light you can see the imperfections start to appear due to how it's wobbling more at the top when it's printing, but still pretty good. So here are my overall thoughts. The support removal with the default settings was frustrating, not impossible, but definitely annoying. Installing the mobile app in Flashforge's version of Orca Slicer was also a bit annoying. I ended up downloading it from a sketchy Google Drive link before realizing it's actually preloaded on the USB already. Also, the printer just smells bad. It's probably because it's just new out of the factory, but it's worse than any other 3D printer I've used. It's weird. And the things that I can live with is the touchscreen. It's dim, unresponsive, and not as intuitive as it could be, but it works, and beginners will find it much easier to use than old school displays. The filament placement, while not great, is probably fixable with a 3D printed adapter or something, I'm sure. And what I absolutely love though is the print quality. It is way better than expected for a Core XY at this price. It's obviously not as good as my higher end machines, but this machine is still impressive and it's reliable. Overall, I'm happy recommending this to beginners and people more experienced with 3D printers. When I was a broke uni student printing robot parts and whatever, this is the printer that I wish existed. So the Flashforge Adventurer 5M Pro is a good 3D printer. The Flashforge Adventurer 5M, however, since it should have the same print quality, again, it has the exact same guts as the Pro version, I think represents the best value Core XY 3D printer out there. But please let me know your thoughts down below. Cheers.